Hi, everybody. Thank you, USTMA, for inviting us. Happy to be here. It was a great event. Met wonderful people, learned lots. I'm here today. Well, we both are here today, Bruce and I. Gurgana couldn't make it. Before I start, I want to recognize a lady behind Answering TTP Foundation. Her name is Sid Kadatsky. She has retired, so it's a big loss for us. It's going to be a hard shoe to fill. So our presentation today is a lot about our accomplishments in the last 13 years. She's done a lot, and she's had a few volunteers behind her, but she's been the main person behind Answering TTP. So here we go. I'll talk about our story, our accomplishments, and what is next for us. So our goals have been providing patient support, promoting education and awareness, maintaining a consolidated information platform, facilitating a unified voice for access, and fundraising to fund effective research grants. This is a busy slide, so I'm skimming through this one, but it'll be a fast one. But I think it's important to point out what has happened in the last 13 years, what we've accomplished. So starting in 2009, the group was formed in the Toronto Hospital. Funds were raised for research, TTP research, and that's when it was formed. We had our first Toronto support meeting at that time in 2009. In 2010, we became members of the RARE network. It's called NRBDO. And we shared, I'm just going to increase the font. Is it possible to increase the font, Claire? Probably not. Okay. So Gurgana did these slides, so bear with me. Okay, so we joined the NRBDO. I talked about that. Then we joined the Canadian Blood Services. We sat on their board and we chaired and actually ran blood drives. We participated in an important roundtable meeting with the Canadian Blood Services, discussing Canadian strategy for blood products. I forgot to mention with NRBDO, we did chair the group and have been members ever since. The other group we joined was CORD, Canadian Organization for Rare Disease. And the exciting thing to tell you is we are part of the CORD Rare Drug Strategy Working Group right now. The government has given us some money for rare disease, and we're hoping CORD can help us do a lot of things. Hopefully, change our process for approving rare disease drugs in Canada, and I'll talk about it a bit later in the slides. And also, we were able to create a patient brochure that was distributed to all the Canadian treatment centers. Which we call CAG, Canadian Apheresis Group. Between 2011 and 2018, we raised $130,000 was raised for TTP research. We did created our first newsletter. We did a roadshow to all the Canadian treatment centers. We in September, to September 24, 2011, it was our first Answering TTP walk. Where we raised 22,000 in Canadian dollars, and we had 70 participants. And I kind of remember that year, 2011, as that's when I met Sid. And when I was in crisis from the hospital, I called her because the doctors in Calgary couldn't fix me. I was in the hospital for 3 months, and I was entering that depression stage. The doctors didn't know what to do with me. And so I called Sid and I said, hey, Sid, do you know an expert in the world? And she said, yes. She named Dr. Catalan and Dr. George. Both my hematologist and my nephrologist picked up the phone and they called them and said, okay, we have this young lady. What are we going to do? And I'm here because of Dr. Catalan, I think. It could have been all of the above things they did to me, but here I am. So thank you. So I have been with Answering TTP. We both have been since 2011. Bruce, when did you join us?
Kind of got dragged in around 2017.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think it's so important to be there, to be a volunteer for a foundation, because what will the new patients do? Who will they talk to? Because Sid was my hero at that time. My family was my support, but Sid was my, go-to person. So I think I feel like I've been part of this foundation, and I want to continue. And hopefully, it's a new chapter for us, of course, because Sid's retired. But we plan on continuing, even if it's a small group. Yeah. Okay. So continuing with the accomplishments, patient order set was made. It was done by professionals with the International Hematology Group, special interest in the management of TTP. So this was intended for emergency docs, where, bringing awareness and having some kind of treatment for them to refer to for treatment options for TTP. The group information session, the group and information session with conference call capabilities was done in 2012, our first one, and so others could join. And then Dr. Scully was invited at that session to talk about the solvent detergent plasma. There was many more support groups and information sessions, symposiums, and tons of them. International healthcare professionals were Answering TTP Foundations provided regular updates and advancements. Information was given to our TTP community. In 2015, we had a patient education day where more than 40 participants were present. So here we are today after 10 years, another great patient event, and we hope that this initiative continues, and I'm sure it will. Answering TTP Foundation, we're proud to say, has raised over $3 million in TTP research. So lots of research money was, lots of research was happening, which is great. And is still happening, actually. So we managed to provide patient support and were instrumental part of advocacy events within the rare disease community. We had the first U.S. roadshow visiting centers of excellence and performing connection with U.S. communities. Our TTP transition into the first International TTP Day. So we were doing walks until then, and then we became the International TTP Day. And proud to say that today we look back and we say that in September is an International TTP month, and patient groups around the world raise funds and awareness for TTP. So we have accomplished a lot over the years, and it has not been an easy ride, but nonetheless a great journey filled with success stories. We look back with pride and hope better future for all TTP patients. Today we face challenges. Challenges are hard to overcome. Resources are scarce. We are doing, we saw Dr. Scully's presentation yesterday. The standard care is not standard for all patients, for all countries. Answering TTP, we were advocating for gold standard, since 2008. And one of our directors and patient representative was actually invited to educate the Octave Pharma team on the patient perspective for the use of solvent detergent plasma before Octopus was marketed in Canada and US. Today I need to bring up this point. We are present at every Parliament Hill meeting, forum, and medical symposiums for years. We have been, and we want to ensure safety first for Canadian patients. Today, we're excited it's exciting. The new products that are life-changing with TTP patients, products have become a standard care around the world. But for us in Canada, as you know, many of you know that products such as Kablivi are just a fun picture. Gergana liked this, and she added this, are just a fun picture of the French llama in Dr. Scully's presentation. Canadian patients do not have access to Kablivi despite all the efforts, letters, MP meetings, patient data and input collection, and submitted to ensure access. It was still denied. So we don't have the access, and we'll keep at it, keep knocking on the government door for it. We're worried, because if Bruce and I was to crash, we we don't want to think about that. But anyway, we value the importance of evidence-based research, and we will dedicate our efforts to Canadian patient registries and Canadian data. We will work with companies to ensure that research studies are designed better and new products will be available for Canadian TTP patients. Our awareness campaign and advocacy initiatives raise life-saving awareness for this rare disorder and encourage access to the safest and most effective treatment options. We will continue to put efforts and ensure Canadian patients have access to this innovative therapies. We are extremely happy to be standing here today and discuss past and future of TTP patients with new therapies. There are new challenges, and we all hope there is a brighter future ahead. On behalf of all Canadian TTP patients, I want to thank everyone for their efforts in making this event a success and allowing us to come together and discuss the advancements and future for TMA disorders. Thank you. I must apologize. I must apologize for that busy slide, but I think I got all the accomplishments announced. Yeah, okay, good, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks again, Claire, for organizing an amazing event.